It's possible for life to be overly dull at times, but sometimes the weight that one might feel can turn to disdain for everything around them. That's pretty much the angle that Softail Seal takes in their newest visual novel, Amatarasu Riddle. After the premise of finding interest in your friends in town is there, the focus heavily leans on the Urage elements of the game.
メガネかけてるの変かな
Amaratsu's Riddle Star begins by introducing the main protagonist, Takaya, an average student who has lost interest in his town and friends and finds everything rather boring. One night he agrees to go out stargazing with his childhood friend, where he makes a wish on a star. Well, I'm sure you can guess what he wished for, and it turns out that that falling star was a crashed ship containing a bunny girl. That's about when everything changes for Takaya, and it happens within a blink of an eye. Interestingly, as things begin to turn around for him, he's more surprised than glad as these exciting things are happening around him. The first part of the game focuses on his relationships in school as they try to make sense of the events. Things like headless maids and characters straight out of fairy tales find their way into Takiya's world, and it's very Alice in Wonderland-like. Depending on the route you find yourself on, Takiya slowly changes throughout the story. He's not very likable, but that does end up changing as he realizes that the people around him are essential to his life, especially his best friend, Yua. Yua's route was perhaps my favorite because you get to see the most growth in Takiya. Also, Yua has feelings for Takiya, but he's too stubborn to realize, even though she is the only person he can put up with for long periods. As for the other routes in the game, each character finds a way to make their move on Takiya. However, Midori felt more like filler, and nothing ended up happening. Outside of her being probably the most attractive heroine in the game, her route doesn't fit in where I saw Takiya's character leading. As for the rest of the characters, Miu and Ai are by far the most interesting and work well with Takiya's quest for life to be less boring. That said, they are both extremely sexual characters, but still extreme opposites in terms of personality. This makes it necessary to experience each of their routes, which only makes the story better. When it comes to the art direction, I ended up liking the background environments as well as the overall character designs. Given that Amatarasu Riddle Star has a fantasy theme, the developers seem to have a lot of fun with these characters and their illustrations. The CGs themselves are beautiful and show how skilled this team is at creating an adorable cast of characters. Amatarasu Riddle Star ends up getting slightly perverted in the second half, and that theme continues to the end. There's no shortage of H scenes in this game, and that turns out to be the primary focus until the end. This isn't a bad thing given that the heroines are just so likable, even though not every route leaves the same impact. There is limited interaction, but getting on a character's route is rather easy and happens after a choice. With that said, there are branches in the story that allow you to be mean or nice to certain characters. Although Amatarasu Riddle Star tries to be a love story, there's plenty of comedic dialogue during the game. I found it interesting to see how Takiya slowly regrets his wish for a less boring life, but I also enjoyed watching him not be such a total ass to those around him. His change of behavior was warranted, and I felt like the writers made his story arc make sense within their respective routes.
素晴らしいに決まってるだろう。美しいこの僕のために学園を城のように建て直すだなんて、新しい学園長はなかなか味な真似をしてくれるじゃないか。
Amatarasu Riddle Star does enough to offer readers the chance to go on a fantasy adventure that's really unlike many visual novels available. It's fun and charming, but might focus on H scenes a little too much after you get on the characters' routes. Still, I ended up liking each of the characters even if I didn't enjoy their route. However, after 20 hours, I felt that the game was mostly sexual encounters while the story took a back seat. I know it's a trend to have a rude main protagonist who changes throughout the story, but still, Takiya getting thrown into this random situation made him realize a lot about himself, which was entertaining to watch play out. If you're looking for a fantasy-filled Urage with an averagely interesting premise, I don't think you can go wrong with Amatarasu Riddle Star. Noisy Pixel is giving Amatarasu Riddle Star a 7.5 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers who work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all our future content.